Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC out here at the Avon Park Field, club number 4747 in the AMA. We're going to be taking up the X-Fly, or the F-15 and the, I think it's the Desert Camo livery. Take her up and have some fun. We're running an SMC 2400. They're pack, their new version 2s. If you charge it a regular LiPo, it's a 2000 milliamp. If you charge it at the 4.35, it's a 2400 pack. So right, left, up, down, left. Got the nose wheel gyro engaged in this little guy. I don't have room for the GNS performance analyzer in there. Otherwise I'd give you a speed test, but I just don't have room for it. So, all right. Up and down, right, left. Here we go. Reaching for the imaginary retracts that I don't have. We're going to take it up now. Flip it. There is not a breath of wind today. Man, I tell you what, this AS3X Plus has got this little guy,
time remaining 3 minutes.
As that horribly overused phrase goes, very locked in. What a great flying little guy, little EDF. All right, let's get her landed. Just gonna take off here. Little touch and go there. Take it up. Bring it right at us. The only thing this plane needs, honestly, is rudders. If it had rudders,
time remaining 2 minutes.
Had some yaw control, that would be awesome. See how high I can get her to go where she peed her out at, right there. This is another great choice for a beginner EDF. The only drawback to this plane is no rudder, so it'll help teach you a spatial awareness and how an EDF behaves, but it's not going to teach you proper rudder control because there is no rudder. All right. Actually go back out towards the highway. Let's do a full landing and then take off. Ooh, bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Yeah, it really doesn't even matter which way I take off. There's no wind at all. And I wish we had a little bit of breeze because it is freaking hot. All right, still got a minute left.
1 minute.
Never touched.
30 seconds. Seconds. 10.
There we go.
Motor is stopped.
All right,
Save
we
to the touch.
had 6 seconds left on a 4-minute timer. We'll go over the rates and CG and all that kind of good jazz back in the man cave, back in the man cave studio. And we've got 17% left. So that's pretty close. I don't like going that low. I don't like going below 20, but that last go around I didn't like it. So, but 17% is fine. You still got more than 3.7 per cell. So, or at least I should. Let me, you know what? Let me check. Let me make sure. Let's see. Just to be on the safe side. Battery's a little warm. Let's see. 3.7. Yeah, okay, we're good. 3.7 per cell, or a little higher. So we're okay. It's when you drop below 3 point whatever per cell, you now have yourself a nice paperweight. So, all right. Well, there you go, folks. That is the X-Fly F-15 twin 40. It's got the dual 40s in there. A great flying little plane. Get it at Banana Hobby. This was a Christmas present from Camera Precious, and I'm very happy with it. And I've got the AS3X nose wheel gyro, but we'll go over everything back in the man cave. We'll see you there. God bless y'all, and God is good. Bye-bye. Well, hey, folks. This is Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave studio. All right. Today we got a couple of flights in with the X-Fly F-15 here in the Desert Eagle. I want to say it's the Strike Force, or I forget the actual livery, but I know it's the Desert Eagle livery. And let's go over the fly a little bit. Okay, first off, let's talk about the battery used. The battery that I used in this plane today is an SMC pack. And it is actually a 2400, and it's their high voltage version 2. It's their version 2s. And this is a typical 4-cell battery that most people would have. Now I want to show you something about this plane. This battery, okay, turn my scale on. This battery weighs 225 grams, okay? This battery weighs 214 grams. And you say, well, that's fine, and Danny, what does that matter? Okay, this is a 2200 milliamp. When you charge this one at the 4.35 or high voltage rate on a computerized charger, is 2,400. And it's lighter, and it's actually physically just slightly smaller than your typical 4S. So, and compared to a Spectrum 4S, and they're about the same price, okay, but you get longer flight time, lighter, and just a better quality battery. Yes, this will not self-discharge like this one will. Big deal. Okay, I will go, I mean, yes, the Spectrum batteries are good. They're good LiPo. That's why I have several of them. But I will tell you this, I will go this route every day. And I've already got one in here, by the way. Okay, now let's talk about the plane. I don't remember if I have the CG written on this. Yes, I do. The CG on the plane is 78 millimeters back from the leading edge root. So if you look at this plastic structure here, and run your finger right along there, you'll see that screw there. Well, about half a finger pad in is where that is, 78 millimeters back. So I put my finger there, and I put my finger there. I'm hoping it's going to be slightly tail heavy. Yeah, it is. I've got slightly tail heavy, and that's what I want, because this thing comes in at a higher alpha type thing, and you can see where I put the pack in order to get that slightly tail heavy. With a jet like this, that's okay. Now, if you wanted it to be perfectly level and fly that way, you're going to have a little more speed, then you can pull it forward just a touch. Okay, just a touch. It don't have to be much. Okay. And let me see. Now I'll put my fingers back there and back there. And now, pretty level, and I pulled that battery forward just a touch. All right, but I like it to be slightly tail heavy or favoring tail heavy, and that way I can pull off a high alpha, and I can come in with a higher alpha landing, and it just makes it easy. It just flies better that way. For me, that's my own preference. You'd fly whatever way you want, but I'm just letting you know that's where the CG is, and that's where I fly. Okay. Let's talk about rates. Now, you don't have any rudders, so there's no need to talk about that. I do, however, have
AS3X mode.
If you look, I haven't engaged the motor yet, but listen. Can I hear it? That's that nose wheel gyro. It works in the nose gear because the rest of the motor hasn't been engaged over 25% yet, so the rest of the AS3X isn't running. But let's go ahead, run that up. Okay.
Safe to the touch.
Okay. Now the rest of them are working. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the rates that I flew in. The regular rates. Ailerons are at 100% with 30% expo. Elevator, 100%, 30% expo, and the rudder is only for the steering of the nose gyro or the nose wheel, and that's at 100% with 30% expo also. Okay, AS3X settings. Turn that off. Make sure you got to have your throttle cut off in order to look at your AS3X stuff. AS3X Plus. Okay, my gains on roll, pitch, and yaw. Not that yaw matters right now. 40% and 50% on roll and pitch. Okay. Priorities, all at 100 on roll, and pitch. Heading I did nothing with. Stop lock is all at 50 and 50 on roll and pitch. Stop lock or release rate I don't do anything with. Gains are set at one-time gains. Okay. And like, oh yeah, the nose wheel gyro. Let me see what I got my settings for that. Let's see. It is at the rate gain of 40% and a heading window of 50%. One time, the priority is 180 for that one. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it. I set my timer at 4 minutes, and I think I would have told you in the video after the flights how long I had. Probably about 30 or 40% left. Very efficient little plane, fun to fly. And I was a little worried about the delivery, about it bleeding out, but I actually had absolutely zero problem keeping up with this. This has got and especially with the distinct color of the nose and the underside, that really shows up real well. And just an orientation tip, find something on the plane that's iconic in shape, like on an F-15 you've got them twin rudders, right? So if you don't have lights to pay attention to, I like to pay attention to the tail, and that gives me my orientation landmark, so to speak, when I'm flying along. So anyways, that's just my little tip, my little pro tip from Fat Guy Flies RC. She's not a super fast plane, but she's only a twin 40 EDF, and great beginner EDF in the sense that you'll learn the discipline of an EDF, have to maintain speed. You know, you don't have immediate thrust like you do with a prop job. So you learn some of that. You don't learn any of the yaw discipline, though, of what a rudder would teach you. So that, in that sense, isn't a good EDF starter. I prefer you to start off with an EDF that actually has a rudder, like say the Viper 64 it's hanging up here, or I've got a Banshee, a free-wing Banshee, or an Arrows Marlin, or anything that's got a rudder, an EDF. Those are good starter EDFs. But this is just fun to fly. I mean, it is. It's a typical bank and yank. You can easily take these one little grub screw on the inside holds this in. These just pop in. If you want to take the gear off and hand launch this thing, it's more than made for that. Entirely up to you. I have a runway, so I prefer to use it. Now, these tires are fairly decent size, and they've got a little bit of give to them. And so I guess you could maybe a really light grass runway, very, you know, almost like a putting green, would be okay. But if you had a heavy grass field, I'm afraid she's going to struggle to get through it. So that's entirely up to you. Give it a shot. If not, you can always hand launch it. But now this little antenna here, this is not what comes with it. This is my antenna mod, and that is for, I just poke a hole through there. I take a zip tie, I lop it off. The end that I cut off, I run through the knuckle of the zip tie and glue it in place or tape it in place, and then that way I've got something to grab a hold of, because some of these models have really strong magnets. You have to kind of dig it to get the hatch to come up. But that way I grab that instead of the side of the hatch. So I've got an AR631 Spectrum receiver, and it's curved off that way for the antenna. And there you go. Simple plane. Other than the antenna mod, I've given her a clear coat of my polyacrylic, and that is this product here. And I just spray that on, polyacrylic and the clear gloss. Okay, it's water-based, so it's acrylic, so not oil-based. And I just be careful how you get too much in the hinges, because like this one has a pinch hinge on the ailerons. The elevators are full floating stabs, so you don't have to worry about that. Just any plane that you apply this to, it's got a foam hinge, not a mechanical hinge. Be careful how much you get in there, because it can actually gum up or cake up in there, and then you go to use your control surface and actually break the hinge. It'll be just the opposite. Instead of protecting your plane, it's hurting your plane. So just be aware of that. Be careful in the hinges. Well, there you go, folks. That is the X-Fly F-15. Great flying little toss and boss, or take off from the runway. You put a nice receiver in there, and you can have an absolute blast with this plane. That SMC pack makes her perform really well. Y'all watch the videos. This little after flight report I will attach to both of the flights to get two separate videos, kind of a flight 1 and flight 2. But I will tell you a little spoiler alert, in the second video, I almost lost her. I lost control over her. I was hot dogging, getting stupid with her. All right, well, y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. Folks, thank you for being my subscriber, or just stopping by to see what this fat guy is all about. Folks, thank you so much. This is the X-Fly F-15. God is good, and don't forget, let's keep them in the air. Faith, family, and friends. Bye, y'all.